Right, so basically, in a nutshell, it starts raining, it gets hard, kills the whole village, and then there's Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater left.
Right. We're going to go for that. Are you ready, Carl?
I am in 2 ticks. So.
Because Jack's late, we've had to speed this up tonight.
Why?
Huh? Because I'm going to be up again early in the morning, motherfucker.
Oh, aye.
I'm at work as well, to be fair, tomorrow, but...
Paul Ray's masturbating himself into a coma right now.
That's a bit of a
Sluggy's in a coma. Right, I'll introduce it.
I'm ready to press play, like.
Right, are you just going off the menu screen or are you going on there?
I press play and then I'm just like pausing straight away, so like I'm not checking the others.
Right. Hello, I'm Steve Mulkey Mason, and I am joined right now in the room with Mr. Jack and
Bonjour.
on the phone, and I will apologise in advance if Carl keeps breaking out. Mr. Carl is also with us.
Alright.
Will apologise because I've just posted the What If Volume 4 graphic novel post, and yeah, it's my boat. This is the podcast commentary. It's a commentary for Hard Rain, and I am pressing play. 3, 2, 1.
Hard Rain. Woo!
Hard Rain. Do you know what Hard Rain was originally called?
Soft water.
The flood.
The Flood.
The flood.
Didn't want to be classed as a disaster film because of Dante's Peak and other volcano films.
But based on its actual reception, it's actually technically a disaster film.
I like this film, right? I paid. This was going for £40 on Blu-ray on Music Magpie, and then all of a sudden dropped to £8.
Christ.
Yeah, I picked it up. I love this. I love I love it how
Old school.
it is. I mean, I love it how Paramount is like uses the logo and drifts into it. The dark clouds signifying rain and thunder. Then pans down on the sit town. I mean, that's pretty cool. Oh, Carl's got a bit of interference. It's probably Jack's phone. Get that phone away from us.
I've got an interference, so can I say I'm next to my laptop, like, but
BBC's got its fingers in this film. And away from your camera, mate. How are we're recording? Fucking hell. Right, so this is written by Graham Yosh, who wrote Broken Arrow. I think he also wrote Speed. Are you downloading some porn there? I went to pictures to see this. When had everyone else seen it? Don't you answer that, Jack, because you haven't got a fucking clue what's going on.
I have seen this film. I'm just not in advancing the film knowledge.
Original release. Probably rental, I think it would have been.
I don't believe that Morgan Freeman should have his name over Christian Slater in this.
Morgan Freeman was a...
Yeah, but Morgan Freeman is like caliber above Christian Slater.
No. He's the bad guy in this, though.
Yeah, but you're marketing Morgan Freeman.
No. Like, this is, I mean...
I bet Nicolas Cage gets his name before John Travolta.
That's always looks shit. No, it doesn't.
I bet you he does on Face Off.
No, he doesn't.
How much you betting?
I'll bet you, mate, the fucking VHS is right there. Look behind the camera. Face Off. Travolta / Cage.
Aye, on the video.
Right. What came first? The fucking 4K?
No. If you watch the film, the titles...
No. Because
and it
the
says
title...
also starring John Travolta.
No, it doesn't. You're fucking wrong. No, now one of the funny stories about Hard Rain, I've got Hard Rain that many times, on VHS, Mindy Driver, who was in the X-Files in an unspeaking role, gets her name added between, it goes Morgan Freeman, Mindy Driver, Christian Slater, and I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Because like Mindy Driver was a flash in the pan.
Yeah. But you hate the film as well, you know.
Well, I think everyone hates this film, but I really like it.
I vaguely remember her talking about that. Also, I vividly remember like Morgan Freeman saying, like, you know, very much has anyone actually seen this film?
With a paint job on the car, the bottom of the car, like. I mean, it's got potential. I mean, this is still a 90s movie. There you go, Graham Yosh. What are you going to say?
Nothing. I was going to say I don't think it's a bad film from what I remember of it.
It's very right. The thing is about I watched this the other day, right? And one of the problems about this film is it's too made of a film. It's not gritty enough. Everything is too clean and too perfectly planned. It is a 90s action movie, disaster movie, on the tail end of the likes of Speed, Dante's Peak, just a little bit too late. Randy Quaid.
I bet you if you ask, what film do you remember him out of, they'll say Independence Day, but no, National Lampoon's all the way.
He's in National Lampoon's number
He's
2
in,
as well.
he's in a few of them.
Tell you what, I didn't know he was. He's actually Frankenstein in the film that scared the shit out of me as a kid, and I was shocked to find out that was him. He's in a lot of films though, Randy Quaid. He's in Freaked. Laughing Man.
Saved the day in Independence Day, though.
He did. Honey, I'm home.
Do you know when the Independence Day 2 starts and it pans away from the monument? It's actually his name on the monument.
I've never watched
It's
Independence Day
fucking
2.
bad. It's bad.
That's why I don't want to watch
No,
it.
it's really bad.
As bad as Jaws 3.
It honestly, it is a modern day Jaws 3. Would you agree with that, Carl?
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck.
Absolutely, yeah.
You got a
I mean,
big
I
poem?
didn't care to see that cinema.
Yeah,
I wanted a
boy.
refund.
It was that bad you wanted a refund?
Actually, I didn't even pay for it, but I wanted a refund when I came out. It was all, no, you know what it is? It was just like, it just had no thought process whatsoever. It just kind of ripped the tails of, yes, we've been lucky enough to get Bill Pullman and Jeff Goldblum back. Obviously, Will Smith ducks out with a very smart move. But it just seemed to think, as long as we've got like 2 characters from the original film.
Well, they had 3. They had Vanessa Fox, and she can't stand Swan, like.
Yeah.
Well, they got I think Bob's back in as well, any Data from
Yeah.
Star Trek.
But again, that was the definition of the whole film, though. They were riding the idea that as long as they got some of the cast back, it would write itself, and it really, really didn't.
So here comes
And it
the
very much led to a sequel as well. So.
misleading intro. Wait, you forgot to sign.
So we're talking about like not being like gritty enough and too clean and stuff like that. But obviously the rumor had it that John Woo was supposedly
John Woo.
on the list to direct it.
Woo, not
I'm just
who.
wondering
That's
what you
when I
would have
first
thought
said it.
it would have changed.
Well, again, the guy who directed it was the guy who did all the water stuff for The Abyss, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
And
Love that
like,
film.
it's just too like safety set up. I mean, he feels like he's just been hired for like been hired hand. That's the term I'm looking for. But I mean, again, I like at the time, Christian Slater was doing really big in action movies. I'm recently doing a Good, the Bad, and the What the Fuck's of him. I watched Guns, Gambling, and Girls last night, and I started watching Way of the Wicked, which was fucking terrible from the start. Vinnie Jones is in it. He's just like, all right, babe. I'm like, all right, fucking hell. But at this time, Christian Slater had been the heartthrob, and he was transitioning into the action roles, and that's what a lot of people were doing in the 90s, like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, who came from that John Woo, the action thing. Do you know what I mean? Because John Woo put these guys on the map for action.
Yeah.
I've seen this other guy in that recently, but I can't remember what it was. Ow. You ungrateful shit. We did Stand By Me the other night. Sorry we missed you, Carl.
I know, you know what it is, it kind of hurt a little bit. I mean, I got like kind of a stinging pain. And
You can't say that.
He's done that.
Jack's the original podcast with me. No, I'm not being horrible.
Yeah, Carl.
It's pure jealousy at the end of the day.
Poor Ray.
I'll be honest with you. I was just too busy. I just thought I could have maybe squeezed it in, but I would have been too knackered. So
What was that last one? Gremlins 2?
Gremlins 2,
That was a good podcast, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's fun. I think like the last couple have either been like, you know, fun or not heavily critiqued, but I think there's been a few interesting ones that we've watched.
With Stand By Me
I'm
was...
still trying to get a taste of the Predator out of my mouth.
Oh,
You
that was
joined
good.
us, Jack.
He did join us.
It was just 2 hours of...
He did have a cameo.
There.
Right, this guy here, he looks like Lawrence Fishburne, so I'll give you that. Not the guy who's on the telly right now, because that is Morgan Freeman. The guy there,
I would say that young guy at the bar looked like a very young De Niro.
Yeah.
Right, going back to Morgan Freeman briefly. I mean, yeah, you're right there. It's got a young taxi driver, De Niro look, Mean Streets, definitely. Morgan Freeman was also in Chain Reaction around this time.
Awesome film.
Yeah.
And the Chain Reaction's a very similar film, if not, probably came from the same producers, where it was going to be a big action movie and kind of flumped in a way. But in the original movie and the original cut, Morgan Freeman dies.
Nice.
Yeah, and Morgan Freeman dies, and it was the test audience that said no Morgan Freeman. But again, he's the criminal. Do you know what I mean? He should die.
It's a bit. I'm sure criminals would find that offensive.
Well, it's an action movie from the 90s.
Yeah, but then so was Under Siege and Busey survived.
Well, technically, yeah. But like in Point Break, because everyone, he went off and that. I mean, Patrick Swayze's definitely dead.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show you him dead.
But
But
survive that way.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
So with the unwritten rule of Hollywood, if you don't see them die, they don't actually die.
well, we saw Gary Busey explode in a fucking submarine on Under Siege, and apparently he was going to be the bad guy in Under
You
Siege
saw
too.
nothing, damn it. You saw nothing. You just saw an explosion.
I saw Gary Busey going underwater in a submarine and it exploding by a torpedo. I think he's definitely dead.
If you get the extra widescreen version, he's lying on the door like Rose and Titanic. He's just floating away.
Oh yeah, and Jack gets saved by the ship in like an abyss, like rumoured for years. I like this idea of a setup. Again though, how did he predict this was going to happen? Because this is a planned heist, isn't it?
Well, this is it, yeah. I mean, he'd obviously. Well, I wonder if he knows that, like, the area, like, that's a terrain, that, you know, if you get heavy rain, that's got to be one of those, that's the place you don't go to, because it's notorious for flooding, so he obviously knows that.
I mean, this
Or at least
mean.
I'd like to think so.
I mean, at this point when I seen this movie, I was like, oh yeah, that happened. And then it was maybe about 10 years later when Shotley Bridge flooded. Remember that? That was mental when that happened, and you think, fucking hell, shit like that does happen. Maybe climate change is a real thing.
Shut your dirty mouth.
What?
Climate change.
Oh, don't. Man, these are nicely free podcasts, alright? I'm just saying. Are you trying to follow what's going on? It's called Dispatch. I mean, look at that shot. I mean, it's just... I mean, it's definitely just raining on him there. I mean, I'm sorry, like, but it is. In high definition, you can see that.
You reckon this was where the budget went? Because this is a fucking big flop like this. This did not make anywhere near its budget.
I mean, any time you play with rain, it's going to be... I mean, look at Godzilla from when Roland Emmerich wanted it all to be raining. And it fucking doubled the budget. Making New York look wet. Well, that's a genius idea. You've already got enough problems with a massive dinosaur running around, as they put it. I do apologise about that computer.
Is this not a bigger flop? Is this not a bigger flop than Waterworld, though? I'm going to double check because
How was
Waterworld get the reputation for being one of the biggest Hollywood flops ever.
Waterworld is not a flop now. Like, Waterworld has made its money back.
But we don't talk about that. We can't predict the future. I'm talking about what it was representing when it was released. When it was released, it was a massive financial flop.
Well, the thing is,
Yes,
I think...
about now.
I think what happened with that right there is you got in that era, like the same era as this. You had Total Film magazine, you had Empire, where we didn't have the internet, we didn't have word of mouth. Well, we did have word of mouth, but we read what was wrote in magazines, and that was your movie fix. So Waterworld got hit by a fucking cyclone, whatever happened with it. This got delayed for about 6 months, along with Mel Gibson's Payback. Due to like whatever was going on, and like you read about it, and then by the time it comes out, it gets a very limited release, and it just flops.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's have a look. So the budget on this film was 70 million.
70 million.
What do you
17 or
think it
70?
made? Gross, worldwide gross. What do you think it came out as?
It's going to be around the 20, innit?
Didn't make 20.
18.
19,870,000. So just under 20 million. That's a fucking big loss, like.
And I mean, again, it's something that, I mean, who made it? Universal.
Universal,
I mean, it could. I mean, it'd be kind of either got an hour release.
yeah, no.
It's not out of the realm that it could get an Arrow release and they could redo it. Because again, it was heavily covered. I mean, I don't think the Blu-ray's got much, but certainly the DVD had loads of extras. I mean, even looking at the back of the box here, it's still doing the old school VHS thing. Morgan Freeman, Shawshank Redemption, Mindy Driver, Christian Slater, Broken Arrow, True Romance, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Still name checking people in the films they had down the side that they used to do on VHS. Well, you don't need to do that. They don't do that on Blu-ray. Got a bitchin' poster of that though. Bitchin'. It's a fucking part of the epic unboxing video I did, Carl. When I get that, and it's like Christian Slater running away, and it's like a massive red and blue font.
Oh yes.
Can't wait to get
Yeah,
that.
showed
filmed.
the picture.
Can you turn down your light? I mean, this would be a fucking grueling shoot. I mean, imagine, because they would have been standing out all night there.
Well, this is one of the comments that Minnie Driver made. She said it was just like a miserable experience because they were just constantly just soaked through all the time. But part of Hollywood for you.
See, I don't really rate the bad guys posse as well. It's pretty like slack-handed, if you know.
Yeah.
You'd usually think there would be one other famous person, not just one main famous person.
I mean, you're right. I mean,
Like in the posse, I mean.
oh yeah, it's not like a young like reckless kid getting his big break. I like this bit here though.
Classic acting there. Classic acting.
I like the guy how he's gone off to the back and he's acting like he's been shot, but it's not really. Who the fuck would fire a shotgun from that far away? He nicks quite a lot of money in some amount of time.
I bet the 90s, how much is a lot?
I wonder if Morgan Freeman was the first choice for this. Christian Slater would have been, because he's co-producer and obviously had worked on Broken Arrow the year before. Because while he was doing this, obviously John Travolta and John Woo were off doing Face Off. Mm.
You know, this is a film, it's a film that I always remember watching, but doesn't really hold much memory.
I mean, this will be going on the shelf for another couple of years. I have done a fast forward review for this when I think about it the last time I actually watched it. Just walk away. I mean, taking Morgan Freeman in wearing earrings, that's quite uncommon, isn't it?
Did you have a conversation with Slater, Mason, or was it more of a wham bam?
It was more, when I met Christian, it was more about cuffs, because that's my favourite Christian Slater film, and obviously about the play, because he really, like, when he was in the play, he was that good. He was just sort of just owned it, and it's weird to kind of think that someone would take that time and do almost like a 3-month stint in London, but I guess you go where the money is when acting, you know what I mean? But no, he didn't. I mean, I've talked about this before. He didn't have to stop. He stopped, and as I say, I got like my favourite VHS ever signed by him to sit in there. I can see it.
I'll watch it. I'm looking at it.
And I give him Pump Up the Volume on DVD to watch as well. So because he wanted to watch it and couldn't find it anywhere, so I'd seen an interview on the radio I think the week before. So there we go. There's Pump Up the Volume to watch, and I never got it back. I never got my pen back either.
That's swine.
Stephen bastard.
But there was a guy I remember like proper just overshadowing and he was like he had I think I've told you about this before, Carl. He had a picture of him. What's he called in Young Guns 2?
Emilio Estevez.
No man.
No, okay, you know what it is? I always think he's actually Dirty Steve in the first one, but they just rewrite the whole character. That's gonna bug me now, I'm gonna have to look that up.
So the guy had a pic. So he had a picture of
really
and one of them nice little printouts of Christian Slater from Young Guns 2. And I seen him sign it after, and then I seen it on eBay the next day.
Honest?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Well, this is what pisses off about that though, because like some celebrities now will what would appear to be looking like dickheads. You know, like I'd even say, obviously, not the first time I mentioned on a podcast, but you know, Peter Willoughby and you know a little bit less than polite. But you know, I do like have that sympathy because you know what I mean. That they get hounded all the time, and they know probably now that 90% of whatever they sign, it's just someone's way of trying to make a little bit more money.
That's where I mean, don't get.
It's a shame, but
I mean, you got to remember, I took a big box VHS. I mean, my hotel was the other side of London, and I went out on that night time, and like, I was sat in the entire the play with this fucking big box VHS. So when you walk up to somebody with a VHS in this era, it's like Sean Fury was like, "Is that a fucking laserdisc?" But like when Christian's seen the VHS, he's like, "Is this a VHS?" I was like, "Yeah, it's only available on VHS over here." And he was just like, "Fucking hell!" But I absolutely love Cuffs, like.
see, I knew it was Dave, but I didn't want to say that because I know there's a lot more to it.
It's not your gang, Dave.
Arkansas Dave Rudabaugh. He's naming younger too.
It's my PC pushing that massive file. I fucking shit myself the first time I ever did it. I mean, look at that. It fucking blows it out and blows it out again like a double edit.
Yeah.
I mean, you would do that. I mean, the whole Luton thing. That hasn't been a good Luton movie for a while. I mean, don't get us wrong. I haven't seen many of the Purges, like, but like a good. Like the fact that this small town.
Sensitive subject these days.
That
Seeing that the Purge, I wouldn't say you see loads of looting, like. It's more violence
Now, well,
than.
didn't they change a lot of it though, didn't they? Like every film, like, had such a massive change. And I mean, you look at the first film, it didn't resemble anything like the others. You know, it's like every single time they released one, it was just like. I mean, I think one of the one with Frank Grillo in it. Didn't Frank Grillo just play the Punisher, and basically the whole tone of that was just him going around kicking ass. So I feel like they did try it. But I was just looking at Slater's IMDb, busy lad, like.
oh yeah, he's never stopped, like.
You know, it's, I mean, obviously after this he does something called, well, I want to say Basil, but...
It is Basil with Jared Leto, yeah.
Basil, yeah. Then Very Bad Thing, which I think I've seen
It's
a bit of, I
amazing.
don't know if I've seen the whole thing.
That is an amazing film. That is, to me personally, a spiritual sequel to Heathers. Because when Christian Slater plays a fucking bad guy, he fucking owns it, like.
But it's funny enough, you know, because Heather I've never seen, but I always know when someone mentions it, I know from the cover, and that's exactly the same vibe I get with
Never
Very
seen
Bad Thing.
Heathers?
I haven't seen much of it, but he's slick hair, and he's like creepy smile on the front cover. Always kind of like, they're not seeing much of the film, I know exactly
Mate,
which one it is.
2 for 15 now at HMV, limited time only. Heathers and something else, mate. Honestly, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
I've never seen that either.
You know what I really
Instead
wanna
of spending
see, which
50 quid
I
on
haven't
shop
seen.
fucking Flash Gordon next week, which he's doing.
What's he getting?
Oh,
50 quid version of Flash Gordon.
What?
yeah.
He's never seen it?
You've never seen Flash Garden? Garden? No, green Flash Garden.
I've seen it, but I wasn't sure. What I said in the message mine, it said I've seen it years ago as a kid, but I was on the fence for whether it's worth spending 50 quid on something I don't have a great deal of memory of. So I may end up buying and watching it going, oh, this is one of those things you can only appreciate as a child. But, you know, I've got a funny feeling it's going to be a good laugh either way to watch. It'll be an expensive laugh, but either way.
Well, that's definitely cemented the fact that Flash Gordon will be a podcast down the line.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Because obviously I did get a meet Flash Gordon, and not officially, I didn't pay for it, but I did chat with him for a second when I went to a Comic Con, along with, what do you call him?
Brian.
Brian
Blessed.
Blessed Eye, that's it. Which, to be honest with you, is amazing how much he totally outshone every single person in that room. Being someone who's obviously a little older, a little bit, he looks like he's a bit out of shape and that, but he literally held that energy from start to finish. We've got like Dolph Lundgren who basically cracked a smile every 5 minutes.
I mean, talking about like going back to the film here, they're now going around high schools on fucking jet skis.
Speedboat.
I mean, this scene here, I mean, it's a pretty good stunt, but it is a bit...
Well, I was going to say we were talking before, but that explosion was quite well done. You know, again, we're talking about like terrible CGI.
Oh
explosion.
no, that was terrible.
That was terrible,
I
that.
enjoyed that.
That was some bad editing.
It was, the dive was good, but the kind of flying through the air, it was like, oh no.
Like, again, look how clear it is. I mean, it's nice, you know what I mean, but it's just not gritty enough.
It's clinical, yeah. It's clinical. It's like very well designed. You know, you can tell it's like a track they've set up. You know, there's no like unpredictability, is there?
I know, but at the end of the day, speedboats going around the high school flooded. I mean, you've never seen that before, and you've never seen it since, I guess.
Yeah, but maybe there's a reason. You know, because look at it. You know, it's not really which you can't do it without it being, you know, like kind of no risk, is there? There's no real warning or, I mean, how he didn't get shot, I don't know. He was in a hallway, 20 foot away. Could not miss that target.
Well, he doesn't hit him, but he hits the fuel line, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Time to see the stunt double.
Christian did a lot of his stunts on this movie. I mean, that's Christian Slater there.
It's not mine.
That was Christian Slater
What
going
about
through that
his
glass.
Best mate's dog's owner's mate, Keith.
Alright, so Keith went. No, but the Christian did a
Alright,
lot of
I'll
stunts.
give you that one. That may have been him. Was he the Tom Cruise of the 90s then?
Aye. No, I think he was just a bit more hands-on. I mean, he beefed up quite a bit. He didn't do a lot of... Going back to his IMDb call, if you've still got it, because he was trying a bit of action, but again, he was...
Yeah.
Christian got a lot of his roles because his mum's a very famous and well-respected casting agent in New York. She's casted a lot of films.
That's how he got the Fern Gully role.
Well, it's how he got in...
I see his name on it.
It's how he got into films, mate.
Yeah. We'll see, we've got like I say, just like really, really busy, but like he actually bounces back and forth from TV to film quite often.
I mean...
So I wonder if that's a good way to kind of like balance your time in it, really.
I mean, he's done a lot of stints in TV. He's had My Own Worst Enemy, he's had a few TV shows that haven't took off, but he's a common guest on Archer and stuff, isn't he? So...
Yeah. He did the voice of Moses in the Ten Commandments.
He's done a lot of voice work.
Christian Slater?
There's a lot of voice work.
Yeah.
Well, he's in one of the ones I've done recently was he was in the new Suicide Squad, and he plays Deadshot, who Will Smith plays in the movie. And I was just like...
Yeah. We've got Hollow Man 2.
Again,
Well, that was a video.
well cast
So-
before his voice.
Yeah,
'Cause he's the
that's
Hollow Man.
Video, that one just...
He going on IMDb now, yeah.
Zoolander.
Is he in Zoolander? Is he?
He's in Zoolander. Oh, he is, man. I forgot what he's...
I'm gonna have to buy that now for me. Good, the bad, and what the fucks.
Yeah. I forget his role now, but he's quite clear. Tell you what, I've never seen, which I really should, because I really like the sound of it, is 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
It's fucking mint, that film.
Just never... We don't have a bit of an Elvis thing, haven't we? You know, going for like true romance and stuff like that. You know,
Well, going back to that Guns, Girls, Gambling I was watching, that's an Elvis competition gone wrong.
Yeah.
No, 3,000 Miles of Graceland was when Warner Bros. Fell out with all the UK distributions, and that, like Collateral Damage, Queen of the Damned, these films, we didn't get them for like 6 months or something, and that was one of them films. Big cast,
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, Kurt Russell. Then you've got David Arquette, Christian Slater, Courtney Cox, all like on the lineup, and it's just two Elvises battling across Nirvana. It's really good. Enter the Jesus Cross. To the forehead. That's
I'm a couple of seconds ahead of you.
well, the John Woo doves have just gone up to the sky.
Well, I've got Mini Driver on the screen now. He's just starting to wake up.
Oh, come on, man. He hasn't got knocked out. He's just been knocked out now.
Yes, he's in Rick and Morty.
Guest voice.
Never seen an episode.
I hadn't until I started working away, and one of the lads mentioned it and says, "Oh, just watch it. Like, just watch a couple of that." I says, "No, I've tried and it looks crap." And now I love it. Like,
Mindy
It
Driver.
always strikes me as something like you get like a lot of kicks if you like watch clips from YouTube. Like, it always gets that like feeling that I can't watch a whole episode, but I can watch like certain things.
he's in Nymphomaniac.
I've reviewed that for The Good, the Bad, and What the Fuck's. It's on for like nearly 5 hours.
Is there loads of shagging in it?
It's got like Billy Elliot whipping people with belts and stuff.
What? Billy Elliot? That is in the actor who played Billy Elliot.
Jimmy Bell.
Jimmy Bell.
He's done a lot of gay films as well, Christian Slater, because there's a one I lent out, I'm not going to say who to, called King Cobra, and he's like a photographer kind of guy, and there's like a new lad in town, he keeps going around fucking everyone and stuff, and it's quite a good film, but it's just proper under the radar, and again with Christian Slater films now, if you don't buy them brand new, you just, unless you like see it, they just fall in obscurity, very limited runs, like.
Yeah.
I feel really out of place because I'm looking through his filmography and I'm still going through, and I've just got to maybe his 2000.
Yeah, he's busy lad. Like, you look at that, he did like 7 projects in like 1 year.
Austin Powers was the last film I actually seen him in.
Shut up, man.
I would have like maybe seen him like, but it's like obviously he's the guest appearance in that, isn't he?
It's just a cameo, like a lot of people.
It's an
I want
orange
to sit down
shirt.
and give Mr. Robot another go. I enjoyed the first season as I went along. I didn't really take it in. I felt a little bit very slow, a little bit boring, but like I've heard so much about the next seasons and that. He plays quite an obscure character, not like.
Is he got a big role in that, Mr. Robot?
Oh yeah, he's
It gets bigger because obviously I think you can watch the first half of the season and he's not even it. But like his actual role is a big role once he's actually in it. But I think like I said, I think it takes about 4 or 5 episodes before you can see him.
Ah. Do you know what I liked? Is it the following with
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon? How many seasons is that finished now? Or?
Finished at 3, I think. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Aye.
Let's get back to Christian Slater. Oh, I tell you what I did watch. I watched a film with Kevin Bacon in. It was probably his most recent one.
Footloose.
No,
This is for your era.
he was in he goes into a house.
All I see him doing now with mobile adverts, I really couldn't tell you what he's done.
Aye, and then he finally returns to Tremors and fucking it gets lost in limbo.
Yeah. We were talking about Christian Slater in jail. Didn't he have a little bit of a...
Well,
I'm gonna have a look again.
the
He had
on
a
the
little bit of a pickle on the premiere, didn't he?
well, he went the day after the premiere of this. He went to jail for 90 days.
Who's that?
Christian Slater.
Did he?
No, he was sentenced to 90 days. He only served 57.
It's called You Should Have Left. Call that Kevin Bacon film. It's got that chick out of. It's got that chick out of Mamma Mia in. See, I do know me film stuff.
Aye, nothing good. Christian Slater is a fucking tremendous actor in
He is.
some mint films. There's a film called Pursued, which you always see it in CDX and all that. It's got a shit front cover, 50 pence for it. You put that on, and he's fucking great because he's like a headhunter, and he wants you to work for that company, and he's going to get you to work for that company. He doesn't stop.
But you know, do you think it's actually hurt him that he's done that much? Because he's not to be like harsh on him, but there's nothing special about him anymore.
No,
It's
no.
like say with Nicolas Cage. You saw a Nicolas Cage film in late 90s, early 2000s. You paid attention. Now he's doing that many films that you just know they're just going to be straight to DVD. They're not going to have any meat to them. It's just going to be generic, but it just happens to be using his name. I feel like with Christian Slater, not as bad as Nicolas Cage, but I do feel that he's done that much. You can name, like I say, I've just looked at his filmography. I can tell you literally 50% of it I've never even heard of, never even seen, never mind seeing.
Oh, I mean, I
I
like
do feel like,
tracking them down. Like, I mean, again, though, he's still working, though. It's not like he'll still be like.
yeah.
He looks like he's adapted to be smart. If you're going to make a living out of that, he doesn't do any of the Comic Cons and stuff like that. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't turned up in Marvel. I'm definitely surprised he hasn't turned up in the Expendables.
Who?
Christian Slater.
I wouldn't see him in Expendables, but I could definitely see him in a Marvel or DC film.
Oh yeah, no, because
So he's an action star, but if you put him next to the stars of Expendables, he's going to get lost.
no, I mean, he was in Broken Arrow, this, Wind Talkers. He's done some action movies.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying like, yeah, but they're his own action film. I'm saying if you put him in a ragtag group of people like the Expendables, is anyone, I mean, unless they do it really well, I don't know if anyone's going to be talking about Christian Slater. Like, what would he do? I mean, I could see him being like a tech guy, which that's not to say that he couldn't be an action star, but given his frame, you know, like you say, he's not a huge bloke like, say, Lundgren or like Stallone. So I reckon if you give him some really good dialogue, him as a high-tech guy, he could probably do that quite well.
There cannot be another Expendables come out.
There is.
What?
Stallone's had too much time off.
You know what it is? I'll say it one more time. Let's do this one more time. The last one did leave a bit of a funky taste in my mouth, so I reckon they got a little bit too ahead of themselves. Stallone wanted to pawn it off on the young kids. They just need to do one more, where it's all about the golden oldies, and let's just do it the way the first one did.
They just need to cast it right.
It's a bit ridiculous. Yeah.
They need to recast Van Damme as a twin.
Ridiculous.
Just let it go for it. Let Van Damme have a twin.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day,
Best villain name ever.
no matter how bad it is, cast Steven Seagal. Because,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Cast Seagal.
Has Wesley Snipes been in one of them?
Yeah, he was in the last. We was always meant to be in him. He was who Terry Crews took over.
Yeah.
Because Wesley Snipes went to jail.
Cast him and make him a chef. That's what you do. That's how you deal with Seagal. Make him a chef. Give him some knife skills, and just give him a moment.
Like what Chuck Norris moment.
You know they want the bad.
Yeah, the first one I didn't mind, but it just it was a quick joke, and it just felt like we've heard the joke too many times now.
Well, the thing is with Expendables 4, they need to cast somebody big. So, for example, chuck loads of money at either
Keanu
Reeves, get people like Kiefer Sutherland in there as maybe it's like bring back Bruce Willis as character, so Mr. Church's Revenge or whatever, and have them wipe out 50% of the cast. Get them killed off. Even kill off either kill off Sylvester Stallone or Jason Statham halfway through the movie, so like you don't know what's going to happen.
I'd like to see like a kind of just
So,
like
who
that,
would
like
who
sort
could
of
they kill off?
a Butch Cassidy Sundance Kid kind of thing. Have them in a small town somewhere, almost like the second one did, in that like small Russian town, and just have them completely pinned down, and very much like Young Guns, just have a complete massive shootout at the end, and just let them all go out in a blaze of glory. Like.
Now this is a massive scene, obviously been set up for a while. Obviously shot the tank, suspenseful, a lot of money spent on flooding, miniature works, tension.
Oh man, I wish you could rewind back. I'm sure I've just seen the ceiling there.
You seen a seal?
Ceiling.
Where?
That'll be all done indoors.
What?
That.
Well, of course it's indoors, he's in fucking doors.
No man, no whole set man, you fanny.
It's a water tank, huh?
Right. I'm glad we're not just dead
Hold on,
back.
I'm looking at Christian Slater in prison here.
Christian Slater is in prison. Jack's just contemplating what the fuck's going on.
Oh, right, okay, right.
He's just realised he's got a pair of Ford keys. I mean, again, just looking, it's like... I mean, look at that, man. It's just... You can tell the camera was just built into that box on top there for that shot.
Yeah.
Oh, what a coincidence. I would leave
There
two.
goes the coffee machine.
See, Carl's ahead of us.
Oh
He's
man.
confusing you.
No, I've just got no idea what's going on. I keep looking at her and thinking I used to have the hots for her when she was in Good Will Hunting.
I was really hoping you would say something other than that. I'm gonna have to check her IMDb. She's gotta have had a lot more under her belt than that.
She is. I seen a film the other day with her in as well. I can't think of
Not
what
a
it was.
great
Now.
actress,
Right, the cough,
but,
Carl, you need a pause there because the coffee machine just went.
Right, okay, I'm pausing it now.
Fire alarm.
He's pretty much trying to get up the ceiling of the cell, so when you get to that bit, look,
He's just gone down there. He's gone for his torch. The picture of Randy Quaid's gone.
What's that chick called?
Mindy Driver.
Mini Driver,
Mini Driver.
as in a small driver. Grosse Point Blank, Good Will Hunting, Phantom Opera.
She's
Oh,
brilliant.
shit,
She's
Sleepers.
brilliant in Grosse Point Blank. She's brilliant in that, actually. Right, he's holding on to the lock now. He's
Right,
rattling.
I'm gonna... right, okay, I'm right there, I've touched it.
Sleepers. That's what she was in.
She's the.
I
She's
was
the-
just saying, I don't remember what Sleepers are.
She's never had a big role. It's just been
No.
like she's just been there in the background teasing us.
Hey, should do with Cinderella next year,
She's doing Cinderella.
which in this case will be about... Yeah, she's playing someone called Queen Beatrice.
Haven't they already done fucking Cinderella on the remake?
Nope. Oh, they have, but it was shit. So they
Only
did.
about 1 million times. Let's see.
Oh, it's terrifying that when the light guns out. You would just think you were fucked, wouldn't you?
Well, this is where I die because I always think of myself in action film. If I'm in this position right now, I don't think I could hold my breath that long. So I'm done. That's where the film ends and goes.
Carl always comes out. That's becoming your new thing. That this is where I die because I can't hold my own body weight. I can't hold my own breath. Bless him. He just points the obvious right. I'm dead.
You know, if you hang on like in cliffhanger and I'm sitting there going, no, I couldn't do it.
Oh, that would be a nightmare. That just a gulp of water.
Yeah.
I like them. Like.
Sound effects.
See, the good thing, although yes, you could say these are all special effects, but films now are just too CGI'd and too much shit.
Oh, well, there's a lot of practical effects here, absolutely. Yeah, I give you that. So they are in a real environment. They are soaking wet and they are pretty much lying in water. But nah, CGI now is just like, it needs to be cleverly used. You could say like people would use it just enough to get people's attention. But now it's just 100% half the time.
See, I don't like Morgan Freeman in this. Like, I don't like how he doesn't suit being that kind of character.
He almost feels miscast because he's not. To me, he's not a genuine threat. Do you know what I mean? And like again, the audience said he didn't deserve to die. He does deserve to die. He's the main bad guy. You meant to have that finale, but again, he teams up against Randy Quaid, and it's a sort of like a curveball. But
Yeah.
because one by one they all start getting killed.
Yeah.
He gets electrocuted, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, I can't remember, but I presume, given all this water, it seemed to be a no-brainer to do that.
I was going to say not a bad idea for a shark film, but they've just done that recently with
Crocodiles,
Crawl.
crocodile one. That was actually alright. I
Have you
actually
seen
enjoyed
that
that.
one? Because I really want to see that in cinema, and I think it was only on for like a week and it went off. And I
I tried watching it on the plane in New Zealand. It was the first film I was right, and I wasn't getting settled. I wasn't ready for a movie, and I never got back to it really.
yeah.
If you want to see a really good flood film, have you ever heard of Hours with Paul Walker?
Yes.
It's a fucking
Yeah.
mint film that. He's got to keep the respirator going for his child because his wife dies at birth, and he's trying to keep the air going. And there's a hurricane comes, so everyone leaves the hospital, and he's got to keep his foot on the keep getting the charge in the battery. And there's like looters and all that coming in the hospital and stuff.
Shit.
It's a really good film, mate. Just there, bud.
Oh, bless him.
It's one of his last films, actually.
Really?
Huh?
Why?
Because he got killed in a car crash. Obviously.
I don't know, what are you joking?
Fucking hell, man. There's only one Jack Sharp, that's for sure.
Certainly is. Oh, love the 3D.
I don't make covers like that anymore. I don't... See, there's a side story of the guy in love with her. Like... Now, I don't know what it is, but it looks like him. The guy with the tash looks like Drake from Aliens, but I don't think it is. You know, it's dead funny. I forgot to mention this. Right, the other night when we did the podcast for Stand By Me, you know Gordy's dad?
Mm-hmm.
How you were like, oh, he's a fucking cross-dressing not ventriloquist, transvestite.
Yeah.
The episode of Deadwood we watched that night, he comes in as the fucking judge.
Does
Same actor, I was like, fucking hell. But he obviously aged about 30 years. Brittany was like, is that him? I was like, aye. Add 30 years to him. Same guy, Carl, from Starship Troopers hiding in the cupboard.
Oh, Hoodie.
That film is
Well,
mint.
when we first said that, but didn't we? He just popped up
Starship
everywhere.
Troopers.
Starship Troopers was an interesting comedy, like.
Have you done it?
Me, Carl and Sluggy did it.
Oh, motherfucker.
Quite an interesting one, that.
You do the sequels if you want.
Right, Carl and Sluggy, there is no sequel.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed Sluggy on the podcast. I think he's doing a great job. But
He
everyone,
brought some of his own little style, hadn't he?
but obviously everyone's now back to work and stuff like that, so it's.
Yeah.
I'll just replace Sluggy, seems though I've got no wife or kids anymore.
You don't know I can't edit these podcasts yet.
It's alright, I don't care.
No. I don't like timestamping stuff because I'll go right. I want to cut something out and I'll be like this for ages, and I'll be like, nah, it was definitely after this, and then it'll be like, what was it? What was it? It was the last time I was trying to chop out when you cameoed on the Predator, and I messaged Carl and says, when did we phone Jack? And he was like, oh yeah, it's such and such. I must have listened for about 25 minutes trying to find you and rang you, and it was like it was at least 20 minutes out of what I thought it was.
Yeah.
You never
It
know.
was such an important role.
People might listen to this and they might go, oh, poor Mr. Jack.
They might.
And then like get in touch with us, and then all you know is like I find my like true love, and then that's it.
Wow.
I live happily ever after in like a little farm cottage like in the middle of Utah.
You just dropped asses.
I'm gonna say, what's the picture you're using for the thumbnail?
Whose?
Jack's, because that'll be an important, kind of put yourself out there, kind of.
Well, on the new because Jack guests in episode 9 of the show, that's the one I've used. He's smiling one from Better and FA when he's just creased. That's quite funny then, mate.
So just because I had a Facebook memory the other day, and me and a friend of mine, she mentioned a film which has like an awful tagline, and obviously this was going back a few weeks ago now, so now like we were going through like all the ones we were going through.
The
So
taglines.
obviously now when I say these, I always love to see what the tagline for these films. So
What's this
for
tagline then, eh?
This one. So the show in 5. So the first one that's come up. In the worst storm in living memory, one guard stands between 5 men and $3 million. The other one is complete. Oh, no, German, but hold on, it's got the English about. Take a deep breath. You'll need it. And then there's another one that says, take a deep breath. You are gonna need it. And then we've got prepared for hard rain. And my personal favourite, a simple plan. An instant fortune. Just add water.
The worst
Brilliant.
tagline ever for a film is "Pray the Roller Boys." I look at that poster every time I go to bed, and I read it and I go, "It doesn't sound right." Say your prayers, boy. They're coming.
Oh.
Really?
Last time I heard that was when I was 12-year-old in church service.
Wow.
Oh. It's alright, everyone knows about the church.
Gonna say you're getting that sympathy vote now, like.
Yeah. Oh, poor Jack. Actually, no, Jack can go fuck himself.
Poor Jack. He never had a chance. Never had a chance.
Now, that's Betty White, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, I noticed her name on the screen at the beginning. I thought, I haven't seen her for a long time.
Well, she's got to be dead for a while now, I'd imagine.
Is
Well,
she?
yeah, but
Is she? I'm sure.
I seen her recently, and she's the grandma in The Proposal, isn't she?
Yeah. What's she called?
Betty White.
Still going. 98-year-old.
98.
98. Born 1992.
Isn't she the one who sings hip hop, a bibbidi bop in Wedding Singer?
Yeah.
yes, I am in the wedding singer. I could still never sing that rhyme, even if you put the lyrics into those.
Oh, I love that song. I do. I can.
See,
Yeah.
again here Morgan Freeman saying goodbye to the guy and he's dying. It's just like the guy should have just been instantly dead off that. They don't need this death scene. It's kind of... The bad guys aren't vicious enough. They're definitely not orchestrated and planned.
I don't really see them as bad guys, though.
I think they're just-
I mean, there are obviously awful people, but they're like taking advantage of a situation.
Desperate
I feel
men
like
do
it's
desperate
not
things.
really villainous. They're just basically taking an opportunity, I suppose. Not to say it's right, but certainly.
You know what's really weird though? You want to give credit to Morgan Freeman here. Seven was the year before this, wasn't no?
That's a Morgan Freeman film.
Seven was the year after this, and he looks like about 20 years. I mean, he's never looked young unless we watch him on Sesame Street, like, but
Yeah.
like he looks really young in this.
See, this is an example. I knew what the newest one was. I just had to look up the original one. Now, this is how bad tagline's getting. So you've got the original Total Recall, right? So you've got how would you know after memory implantation if your mind is yours, or they stole his mind, now he wants it back. You know, these are all like kind of catchy lines. The remake in 2012 is this is one of them. What is real? That's it. That's a tagline. Then it's got real or dream. That is it. And it's just like, how do you get it so badly? I mean, in 1990, they had like so many great taglines, but
Because they were classic movies, that's why. Them guys who wrote them lines are probably dead, and then they just got some like young modern university student who did English who thinks he's cool and he comes up with shit like that. I'm on a roll
I
tonight.
say, you know, what would you do if someone stole your mind? It was like clearly get an oversized woman costume.
How would you know someone stole your mind?
Exactly, that's what I was about to say. What would you do if someone stole your mind? Well, I wouldn't know that they stole my mind, would they? Because they've got my mind. So there's nothing I could do.
It's like the Matrix. The clever one for the Matrix would be would you take the red pill or the blue pill and just leave it a question mark? Then what the fuck does that mean? Watch the
Yeah.
film. Do you know what I mean? You take the red pill or the blue pill
Why?
because
Which one's blue?
which one's blue?
What's the pill thing
Who
like?
says take the pill? Wake up in Never Neverland or that?
I was going to say it's either go back to reality and just not remember everything.
I'm joking.
Yeah. You see how far the rabbit hole really goes, eh?
I was looking at Stephen there, kind of like, what are you talking about? What pill? And
I'm
Stephen
so
started to look at us, go, are you being serious?
Like, I mean, lockdown has lifted and stuff like that, but normally it's like I look at the phone, like I can't see Paul Ray lying on his lazy boy recliner, or Carl sitting wherever he's sitting, and then like not used to like looking at you, like talking, like looking for an answer. I'm just waiting for an answer normally. It must have been a massive tank.
Yeah.
So when I did the commentary for Jaws 4, it's got an alternative ending where Mario Van Peebles doesn't die. Right? So,
Alright.
like, how do you remember the shark dying in Jaws 4?
Say that again, sorry, I was too engrossed in the movie.
How do you remember the shark dying in Jaws 4?
Jaws 4.
The boat comes up and it
Shit.
stabs him. Yeah? The front of the boat.
Shit, I forgot. Yeah, hold
So-
on, because you've got the first one
Totally
he gets
forgot
shot,
that.
the second one
Second one he gets
Electrocuted.
electrocuted.
electrocuted, that's right. Third one,
Grenade.
well, the grenade, yeah.
So in the fourth one,
Sorry, they're about the fourth one.
so in the fourth one, the original, I don't know which way this around is. So originally, the shark comes up, it gets speared by the front end of the boat. The front end of the boat goes under the water. You see the shark go down in like a miniature, but it looks mint. It goes down to the bottom of the ocean, roars like it does in the original, right? Meanwhile, Mario Van Peebles floats back to Earth and still alive as the water completely changes to a dark blue. A fucking Truman Show background. Michael Caine and that floating. Obviously, they refilmed it in the fish tank,
yes,
so it's totally different.
He's no helicopter.
Well, yeah, but if you watch the original cut, the fucking next thing you know, the boat touches it like that. The shark explodes completely, and when it goes underwater, it's a scene from the original movie of the shark going down to the bottom of the ocean, complete with fucking line of the line from the barrels sticking out of it still. What a bad movie that is, man. I love this bit.
How well were they paced out though in the films?
I don't know, but wait, this is the funniest bit of the movie with the F-bomb here. Like, this is like years of abuse that. Shut the fuck up.
He's having a money.
Yeah.
He looks well impressed with himself.
I love it when it's like there, right? The Cena didn't have to go, there she is. Like the light's on her, you're going forward. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Oh no. Bit of a poltergeist thing going on.
Floating coffins.
Europe.
Surprised one of the gravestones doesn't have Jimmy Hoffa written on it. That's a film I thought they would have brought out by now. The Irishman to buy.
Well, that's the thing though, like, The Irishman, is that like, will that ever come out physical media?
Well, Shaft's just come out, so that's a Netflix one as well. So Shaft's come out, so there is, you know what I mean.
Aye, but that needed all the help it could get though, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I never saw it, but the amount of publicity it got and how little anybody spoke of it, I just assumed it was awful.
Do you want to know the problem with that film? Is the original's called Shaft, the Samuel Jackson, which is a remake's called Shaft, and the new one's called Shaft.
Yeah.
And the original Shaft is now in all of them. So the Shaft, and Shaft. Not like Shaft in Africa or Shaft in the Harlem. Shaft in the Hood.
Well, they all did get shafted.
Wow.
Did. Yeah, I went there. So just answer my own question. Jaws 75, Jaws 2 was 78, Jaws 3 was 83, The Revenge was 87, so yeah, pretty close together really.
What's the
Not
tagline for
massively.
Jaws 4?
Between the third and the fourth one, the biggest gap.
Shark, roar!
Oh, yeah.
Tagline for that, how? Shark, roar!
What's that?
Sharks don't roar. Sharks don't have a voice box.
This time it's personal. So here is an interesting turn of the film. Christian Slater literally becomes part of them because the coppers become the bad guys.
See, opportunist, not bad guys. Everyone just realises there's a lot of money at hand here.
I mean, to be honest with you, if it was raining that heavy, could you actually hear somebody shout at you? You can't hear anything.
I don't know, at this stage I'd have to take my hearing aids out, mate, for the safety of them, so I probably wouldn't be able to hear anything.
He's been dead a while, Jack. He died about 10 minutes ago on the boat.
I know. Still doesn't stop us from caring for the guy.
Why? He was the plot device. He's the guy who shot the guy in the first place and set off a chain reaction. No pun intended with Keanu Reeves. to like, she like. But again, it was like, to be honest with you, don't get us wrong, it's a bit of a sloppy writing because he dies because of his own stupidity. Not that Christian Slater has to kill him to survive. Do you know what I mean?
Alright, man dies, you can't just like diss him, he's dead now, you can't. He ain't coming back.
I don't know, you haven't seen Gary Busey die apparently, according to the submarine man over here.
Exactly, he might have just fell asleep.
I'm just saying, we know the facts. We know he was originally going to be in the second one, and we never actually saw him die. So you could, in fact, say he's still alive.
He's definitely not alive, mate.
Well, that's a really difficult statement to make, Mason. You can't prove it, mate.
Until you give us a body, he ain't dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
We seen a body the other day.
Well, stand by me.
That's a body.
Do you think he got up after that one and went, cut? And he like, got up and was like, how was it? Was it good? Were you happy?
Did you breathe? It's like Death Warrant with Van Damme. After the priest gets fucking stabbed with an axe, and Van Damme helps him down, then runs off, and as he's running down this fucking corridor, he's still fucking breathing. Like, it's, oh, you just left him and die, have you? See there, cementing that there, that the other guy just gets killed in the crossfire.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good looking set though. I like the idea of this imagination.
Oh,
You know, you're in a flooded graveyard, probably shootout.
Yeah, I mean,
You've just been clearly shot in the eye.
I mean, one of the good graveyard shootout scenes. I mean, again, look at what I'm talking about. Like cliche music video shots there. John Woo, Hard Target. Good shootout scene in the graveyard there. But two of the main bad guys there, though. I mean, it's a quick, like, this is a quick turnaround that the coppers have gone bad, and they've just killed off the two coppers. Do you know what I mean? So, like, sorry, the two surviving members of the gang, they've just been killed within less than a minute from each other.
That guy's glasses falling on the gravestone. You reckon that would have relevant to the name on there? Or was it like a...
It's again
Ooh,
going back to the...
Easter egg in there?
That's deep, Carl, that's deep.
Aye.
But I was just thinking, like, yes, it could have been artistically watch the glasses fall on the gravestone, because obviously the man just died, but I thought it's an opportunity there.
I mean, there's always, I'm forgetting his name now, I'm sure it was Kelly somebody, but the guy who went on to direct a lot of the X-Files and directed the last episode, and he was the chosen director to direct the original series' last episode as a really big send-off. When they did the new series, there's a scene when Mulder is in front of the gravestone, and it's his name on the gravestone because he had died in between, like, the decade that had been between the films, and that's always like like there's always stuff like that hidden down. I mean, it's always like names and streets and stuff like that.
That's it, yeah.
Are you sure that's not Drake?
Have you ever watched the X-Files, Jack?
I have. I used to watch it all the time when I was like, when Sky very first came out. I used to watch it all the time. And then I think after watching the movie, I don't think I ever watched it again.
The movie is a little bit like out of place. The second movie's fucking terrible, but the two new series is class. They were really intelligent. But I even like the bit when Robert Patrick came into it as well. I thought he did a really good job in it, Robert Patrick.
What is it with this room? You talk about a film and you see it, or I think you look X-Files right at the bottom there, under Jurassic Park.
And VHS, have they?
Holy shit! Honestly,
We'll
King
just look
Kong.
around.
Aye, there you go. Lost Boys.
But literally, every single podcast we've done since Mason finished
Gun Girls
X-Files have
Gambling.
been, oh look, he did X-Files.
Has I? Wait, honestly, when I see Mindy Driver in X-Files, she was sitting, there was one of this, it was like a play, and it just panned across and she was sitting in the audience, and then she wasn't in the rest of the episode. Can you not do the Undertaker's face when I turn around, please? That's quite terrifying.
Where's me ring face?
that we're not using the video footage.
I know, but you still be able to look at it like in years' time and go, that was Jack's ring face.
Wow.
Stop saying wow.
Wow. I would say I'd rather wow than nah.
No, it's not nah, it's no.
Nah. You go all out, you try and be funny, and then out you get like a half-assed nah.
Yeah.
Like, shit got thought out there, man.
Well, like my comment today when you were like on about your steelbook being burned, I was like, don't worry, you'll have 2 more in a couple of hours.
What's the most expensive DVD you've ever bought?
If I get a really nerdy on you, I'd have to say I haven't bought a DVD in a while. But as far as Blu-ray goes, I think probably...
You knew what I meant, Carl. Come on.
This is all about the detail when you're being recorded. You can't come off looking like you don't know what you're talking about these days based on what you're up on it.
Well, I think people have come to realise during podcasts that Jack knows. Jack thought he knew lots about films, but Jack actually knows jack shit about films.
I don't know, actually. I think probably would have to say either the Nakatomi Tower set, Die Hard set I've got, which...
Send me a picture of that.
70 quid for that, but not that much, really.
That's probably mine there. I've got the Godzilla Toho collection, really. That's a 15 Blu-ray box set.
That was a pricey box, wasn't it?
Jack's looking at it, but he's not sure what he's looking at. There. See Godzilla?
This eye?
Aye.
I know, I've just seen the Shining thing as well.
Wee, wee, wee. It's funny that, because I did play...
See, sorry, Stephen, put yourself in that situation, right? You've got bad guys, you're a cop, everyone else is fucked off. Would you become bad in order to get... How much money is it?
3 million.
3 million.
3 million. Would you kill the bad guys and say that the money flew off, rivered off?
Yeah, you couldn't get away with it. You could not.
Why?
No, because again, he works for the company. All like money laundering, all the bills and number whatever. They would follow him for the rest of his life if he ever overspent.
No,
or,
the
like-
cops.
Yeah, but this could have been damaged within all this storm, yeah. You could totally write that off and say, obviously, it got swept away somewhere. I mean, the whole bloody town's completely flooded. So I would say...
No, I wasn't on about Christian Slater, I was on about the cops. How the cops have started to turn bad.
Yeah.
If you were a cop, would you kill the bad guys, take the money and take it?
I don't know. I think, unfortunately...
You know what?
Unfortunately, I think I've got too much of a conscience. I don't think I would.
Do you know a film they haven't watched before this? I mean, that's a min shot there and grabbing on the boat, like the way the camera works. But like, if they'd probably took a bit more First Blood and put it into this movie, you know what I mean? The ruthless fucking coppers.
Yeah. Corrupt.
Hey, what you're on about, the coppers were pretty innocent in First Blood.
Alright, there's a question for you. Carl, ask Jack about the body count of First Blood.
Oh yeah, so what do you reckon the body count is in First Blood? Keep in mind it's a Rambo film, so
Yeah.
you know you'd be surprised.
Right, wait there.
Are you going to check it?
He's thinking.
No, I'm not checking
Oh,
that.
because I thought you were looking at your phone. I was like, you can't cheat.
Because it's a Rocky film. I don't
It's
think
not
it's
a Rocky film, you
No,
mom.
sorry, a Rambo film.
Rocky's gone ape shit. He's just knocking people out. No, it's Rambo.
Rambo.
So.
I don't think it's going to be as big as the other ones will be. I'm saying
Obviously, the
20
20?
more.
Oh, nah. You're too cold on that number.
You're fucking freezing.
Does that mean it's higher?
No.
Lower?
No,
6,
you definitely want to be lower.
Lower.
3,
Lower.
1.
Right.
The guy who falls off the fucking cliff.
Guy falls out of the helicopter. And if you want to be funny, 2 dogs.
Yeah.
I love that bit. I love that. I love the foreshadowing of that guy with the fucking sword. And like, it just shows you how much is later on. And then...
See, it's smart thinking, this film, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't get about it. He's obviously had a lot of thought process. How it's going to look and how it's going to actually happen. And so that's where I think it falls short. It's kind of like, it's got a lot of thought process going on behind it, but the delivery's not quite there. Like,
I think the script,
I don't think it's bad, Dylan, but...
set building, I think they've just had to like write gan for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I like the name Hard Rain. It sounds like an action movie. But what this, I mean, this what was that? I always get confused by that Robbie Carlyle Flood, because you pick it up and it says the TV series and the movie, but it's always dead cheap.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure Tom Hardy was in it as well.
What do you think the death count is in this film?
Wait.
Well, how much?
It's under 10.
Are you right by that?
8.
5.
It's a number.
5.
Only 5 survived.
Only 5 survive.
Yeah.
There's going to be a rape scene soon, a borderline
What? Are you on about on the film or in this podcast?
one. I can't.
So close out every podcast.
I got some very disturbing messages off Cooper from you last
He's the
night.
person who's in the same room with someone else.
He's gone rogue. There's a bit coming up where you just look at it and go, really? And you want to talk about budget. It's a bit where the glass and the face flies towards the camera. You think, why have you done that? Look at that lonely tree about to cause all this havoc.
Yeah, that's how it all starts.
I watched Lucky Number 11 again the other day.
I really like that film with Josh Hartnett in.
It's as slick as it can be, but like you need to have a couple of years between watching it to go, the twist, the turns.
Serious, mate, Carl, if you were sat in this room, you would just be watched by saying that you've got a beard as well. Me and Stephen done nothing but twiddle our moustaches, fiddle with our beards. Each other's beards.
Bit of what your beers. Bit Broke Mountain in it.
Best film ever, that.
I actually quite enjoyed it, to be fair.
See, told ya, everyone goes,
When I sat and watched it, I thought this is actually a great film.
Again, that film is a product of word of mouth. You know, it's something like when people know it's got like a bit of like gay loving in it. Everyone say, "Oh, I'm not watching that." Or fuck that. Like, give it a watch. It is a good film. And you know what I mean? It's well done. But like My Own Private Idaho from back in the day. That's what are you laughing at my beard and comb?
No?
You are. Look.
I went to My Own Idaho. I only watched that for the first time at the probably beginning of lockdown.
It's mint.
You've guessed it, I've not
I
seen that
really,
either.
really enjoyed it for an older film. I think it's got a lot of resonance to how close River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves were, because they were like thick as thieves, weren't they? Really.
Aye.
So I feel like you definitely get the true sense of bromance in that film.
I need to watch it. I feel like I'm missing out.
What, My Own Private Idaho?
Aye.
Yes.
It's behind you somewhere. I've just watched it.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it is.
I haven't got a DVD player, so
I've got it on VHS up there, top
I'm
shelf.
going to be just player either.
Well, you'll have to fucking watch it online.
Is it online?
Well, probably. You're dodgy.
Hey, shh, we're on podcast here. Do you mean Netflix? It's not on Netflix.
Look, here it comes. I mean, that was a good shot of all that fucking water in that room. He hits the one bit of the table to set fire to it. Of course he did.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you, miss?
It's just a movie.
It's just a movie.
To be fair, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we're managed to get through the whole film, actually. And it's really bizarre, because it's been one of those films, to be fair.
See? Bit of a rapey scene.
Well, you're about to shoot hold on here.
If you could get away with it, though, would you?
No.
Me neither.
That was like the worst way to try and chip
It is.
You missed it. You missed it on there. It was the Robin Hood podcast when, because we watched the extended one, it was over 3 hours. And the bit where Alan Rickman tries to rape her at the end, and he like jumps up and knees her down. Paul Ray was like, "Is that what I've been doing wrong?" And we were like, "Awkward." It wasn't as bad as the clip. Was it the cliffhanger where we're on about the push-ups call, the push-up challenge? And Brittany came in. Brittany came in halfway through. There was me, Carl, Matt, and Paul on the podcast. And Brittany's like, "Oh, just sit on the floor." And she just got grief, and then we're on about doing the push-up challenge. She's like, "Brittany, if you did a push-up, your tits would still be touching the floor." And she's like, "Woo." Just sat, fucking lip came out.
You got ripped to pieces, like. Bless her.
Oh God, I mean, there's a bit of a sinister bit here. I like it how she actually fought him off though. I love it how she's not saved, but then she needs saving to get out of the predicament that she's stuck in the thing. I like the fact that you know she's saved herself.
Not entirely damsel in distress, yeah. But just here in the 90s, women didn't have much of a chance to survive. Needed to be saved.
I tell you what's pretty brutal, and we'll just talk about it briefly. Guys, remember the Condemned when the last gets fucking raped and killed and that?
Why are we talking about rape too much?
Because of you.
Right.
You started this.
Well, I'm not finishing it.
You
I was
buff cat
literally
on.
about to say mood lighting for this whole rape scene.
Yeah, well,
Did he literally just go and get a candle to make it a bit more romantic?
it's just sick, like.
Well, it takes, like, I mean, obviously we all know it's a sick thing, but it must take such a sick level to, like, literally somewhat enjoy it, knowing that the other person, like, really isn't. I just don't understand how anyone would get that, but...
Them scores there, them a bit like Alien. The wee.
Yeah.
I think she would have a lot more blood on her like that. Something hit a
But now,
jugular.
just a little penknife, man. Just a little penknife.
Here it comes. The fucking face comes flying towards the screen. Ready? Why?
Toward the light.
Oh, that was horrible. That was awful.
Terrible, lads. I've never noticed that since you mentioned it.
I mean, I like the shot they've got from the roof, but again, it's kind of like so much coverage on it. The keys are floating away.
Well, that's it. Can't be easy. Oh, I'd have cramp in my foot by that point. Listen, this is real life. You gotta look at it from those eye points.
Exactly. Oh, that was like total like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that didn't quite work for me, even though I know they were trying to do that whole Morgan Freeman like coming out of the water shooting.
Yeah, he could have at least killed one of them.
Yeah, it could have went in slow motion, and it was just like such a dramatic thing, but it like literally delivered nothing.
Yeah, he's like 2 foot away from them, and he still manages to miss them. Ah.
That literally sounds more like Donald Duck from my end.
It is. It was going that way. Oh, WWF chair there.
Yeah.
Fucking organ going. It's proper trailer music, isn't it? Din 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 din.
Again, all style, no substance. I mean, it was quite a smart move he just pulled off there. You know, shoot the guy in mid-air and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just seems to be missing the punchline.
Right.
You should never play with plugs in the water, kids.
Fucking lassoed him. I mean, how good did guns fire after being submerged underwater?
Is that not
I mean,
like a
he was
myth,
just
though?
fucking loads of water's come out of his gun there as he's turned.
Yeah.
It's totally trailer music, totally trailer music. It's over, man.
Oh no, she's gonna die.
She's not, man. It's a movie.
The girl always lives.
Oh, I mean, you can
Is
see it
that the one
coming.
where the girl doesn't live?
So, because in Eden Lake, when that chick doesn't die at the very end, would you say she died or not?
I would say she's dead in that.
But why?
I didn't see it, so I have no idea.
You've not seen Eden Lake.
Mate,
I've not seen Eden Lake.
mate, it's
It's
fucking
brutal.
a hard watch, like.
It's one of them films that could happen.
Right.
A bit like Independence Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it is. It's like one of them films that you're watching, you like actually think, Jesus Christ, that could actually happen. Get back to the movie.
We're going back to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall. Is it a dream, or was he like just having the trip of his life?
He just took a load of DMT and just let that whole thing just play out in his mind.
This is quite a long movie, to be honest with you. How long's it on for?
Well, 1 hour 20 minutes now. Well, almost.
That's not really. It's only 1 hour 37 minutes, and that's including trailers. Like,
I can
after.
see it. Over an hour and a half.
But again, that's not a good testament to the film because it feels long.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, I would say this is not nearly as good as I remember. I can appreciate it, but given the cast, it feels like it dropped the ball a little bit. I don't even know if I blame the cast. I think everyone's done a really good job. I think maybe it's more the story.
I just think it's a little bit.
What films were out this about around at the same time as this that could have potentially...
Well, this was coming on the back end of stuff like we said before, Dante's Peak, Twister. It was coming on the back end of that. Christian said I had been in Broken Arrow. Carl's probably going to read out the year. Give us a year read, Carl, because you're good at that.
I'm saying 1993.
98.
98 on this.
Holy shit. God, Struth and Warm.
It's hot in this room.
Let's have a look. So, of course, not to be mistaken for the Marvel films, we have the Avengers.
Sean
which
Connery.
Is the one that takes the blame to why we in the UK have to have Avengers Assemble, because you don't want to mistake that. We have Small Soldiers.
Good on you.
Do you know what? I've never watched that film all the way through.
We've got Saving Private Ryan.
Classic.
Mask of Zorro.
Yeah.
The not so official sequel to Blade Runner, Soldier, Kurt Russell.
No, it's a sequel of Blade Runner.
It's kind of like it is and it isn't. I think the story is one of those very much loose stories about like, cause he's basically a replicant. You know,
Right.
it's not really a
Do you know
sequel
the
to
answer to
Blade
this
Runner,
question?
like,
What universe is Soldier set in? What other two films take place in the same universe?
yeah, I'm not going to be able to guess it. I know what you mean because I remember reading it, but
Event Horizon and Pandorum are set in the same universe.
Right. I didn't know that actually. I thought I would have known it when you said it. But, we also had
Soldier was a fucking flop as well, mate.
one of the greatest sequels of all time, which is Blues Brothers 2000. Not. one of my favourite Jim Carrey films, The Truman Show. A Bug's Life, we've got Sphere, Blade, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So it was kind of good, yeah, like.
Yeah.
No massive, like, not for, like, Saved by Ryan's a big blockbuster, but I wouldn't say there's any major blockbuster films there, so it could
Did
have
I say
really been a
Blade was?
potential
I would have said
good
Blade
run.
was.
Blade was you got to remember about Blade. Blade was a very was a comic book movie. Like Blade is the reason why we have the Marvel films, because it showed you like how cool
Well,
Blade
first,
was. Yeah, but like I still think
But
Wesley
then again,
Snipes.
though, I don't think it kind. I think that's what helped it in its way, though, because even though I knew it, I watched that film back in 1998, and I did not feel whatsoever like a comic movie.
No.
It was a vampire horror thriller kind of film.
Fire
So
like
I feel like
shit
it
on
didn't
that.
kind of didn't stand out as a comic feature.
So
But maybe
just
that's
talking
the thing
about why
this new one that they're going to do in a couple of years.
yeah, I would love to see Wesley Snipes return, but the character is that Jared Leto's playing. He's in the same universe as Blade, but he was originally cut out of one of the deleted scenes from Blade, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That character.
But obviously Snipes can't do it anymore because I think he's a bit too old. But I forget his name now, but it's they've already cast the guy who played Blade in the new one. He was the guy in Green Book. I don't know if you've seen that one or heard of it.
Oh yeah, I know you're on about that.
But I don't know if he's the right guy for like to be fair, but we'll just have to wait and see. But
I mean, this is
a great and like a new
That was
vampire
bad.
film.
Well, this is a clash between miniature effects and practical effects. This though.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy gets blown to fuck. That's how he dies. I mean, talking about killing someone off really good.
Black Cat.
But again, this is putting Christian Slater in.
Against Dyer. Sorry, what?
I'm just saying though, he got killed by. Like Christian Slater doesn't actually kill anyone in this, does he?
Because he's
No,
a good,
not really.
hard-working individual.
But see what I mean though, like that's an awesome death. But again, it just comes down to the fact that they've thought about all these little things, but they haven't put it together right for me. Like I feel like it just they've thought about all the deaths before they finished writing the film, and what they've done is they've kind of just wrote the film around these really good-looking shots. I feel like that's where it's kind of falls apart a bit, just like this house right now, literally flowing away in one piece.
Yeah, the water's not
Don't
swishing
those
about
things
or
like
anything.
these days anymore, do they? Is she still stuck?
Oh shit, his fucking soul's just broke. But
Just
he-
ditch us later, you'll be alright.
Aye.
I know, but
Little fish in the dam.
he's got to get with it now, though. Big screen. Lots of trees back.
That's the lonely tree stripes again.
And after that lonely tree, you'd done one.
Again, no, look at the size of that set, man. Someone's had to like pretty much build half a house for the camera to go across like that.
Yeah. That just kind of looks like the camera's knocked that bit off.
I mean, again, going back to like, oh yeah, they're gonna be fine. I mean, it's good to see that they've survived in the tree, though.
But he doesn't look like he's gonna survive.
He's totally lying there, everyone. I just keep my eyes shut.
Should have stopped talking to him.
Sure not to notice. Whatever you say, honey.
Happy ending.
Yeah, but really did that? I mean, have they got much time left?
Fucking hell. Morbid fucker.
I'm just saying, what the after effects here, he's going to be bedridden now. He's not getting out of the house anytime soon.
Look at that. I mean, just it doesn't look very good. That I mean, they went for the effort to have the building fall to bits, but
It's,
Very fake, yeah.
I'm trying to think who the composer sounds like.
Predator.
I can't hear that much.
It sounds like the Predator.
I was watching a movie trivia thing on YouTube the other day. It was quite an old one. One of the rogues, they go on a massive rant about how fantastic it is that the Predator was getting its original director back, and how it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be this, that, and the other. I was like, oh, how wrong he was.
Oh, how he lied. He lied.
I mean, it's not the original director as well.
I would say we got the original director, and like obviously the argument was then the trivia was that should Arnie come back? And it was like no, you don't need Arnie. You just need the director just needs to do something nice and fresh and different. And I was like, yep, nope.
I mean, that's a pretty
that's
over
pretty-
the top fucking definite.
It's
Flying
grim.
fucking.
Getting his guts chopped out.
I don't think he's dead. I think he comes back for a fucking typical cinematic fucking villain.
I mean that's what you call a motorboat.
Hello.
I'm too old for this shit. 2 days retirement.
So hot.
I know it's a hot room to do a thing in. I would have done the room, but I've got too much stuff to master and stuff, man.
See, that's a good. I like that line because it's believable. You know, the fact is like, you know, I didn't come back for you. I came back for the money, because that's what that character would have done. And there's no way he came back to help them.
They could have definitely chopped 7 minutes out of this minute, an hour and a half, how much slow motion they've done here.
I was going to say, this has gone throughout the whole film, the slow motion thing. It's just like,
Boom. Ooh, I like it.
Everyone gets shot at once.
she looked kind of sexy there on that shot.
See that amount of time you could have shot him straight in the face. Ah, shizer.
I like how he gets like you happen just to have the smallest gun you could possibly have while she stood there with the rifle.
Oh, Morgan Freeman, man, firing between his back and that. Bang.
See, they couldn't hit shit all the way through the film. I'm pretty sure they got headshots or they all left. Well, at least that proves that Christian Slater did actually kill someone, though, miss.
He does.
I would, if this was COD terms, I would have given him an assist.
See, unnecessary slow motion. Throwing the gun in the
Notes?
water. Come on.
The thing about the slow motion, what's not working, the rain. The rain is still fast as fuck.
Yeah.
As well as one of the things you can tell about the set, though, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, is some of the lockdown shots are just solid. It's obviously they've had enough, like, they've built where they're going to have the camera angles, and the camera's locked down, so the camera's not moving. It's not like it happened to be filmed on a boat out at sea or anything like that, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
locked down, solid. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like going to work every day. It's just, I mean, one giant swimming pool.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was very cold.
Imagine the state of what the fingers would have looked like.
Wrinkly dinkly, like ours with all this fucking cream we having to put on.
Pruny.
He got a
What's
bag.
this?
I wonder how
The
he.
bag.
It'd be interesting to find out how he originally died, though.
Yeah, because they didn't actually tell you. Not in the
No.
film, but have you...
Just said test audience didn't agree that he should have died. So
Unless the other bad guy like gets a shot off. That's awful, that though. That ruining at a distance.
definitely Carl with the dodgy.
Carl, man.
What?
your phone's going dip 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 dip.
Isn't a freeze frame on them here as well?
The smooching.
No, I think there's freeze frames. Ready?
God, I hope not.
There, there's freeze frames on them like that. Tom.
Oh, good no.
Well, that was Hard Rain. I do like it. I've got a soft spot for it. So, how many? Ooh. How many? How many? I'm thinking of what we could use. That's why we need Paul Ray on these.
Bags of money, how many raindrops?
How many Betty Whites out of 10?
Yeah, give it a 5 Betty White.
Why?
Oh, you're giving it 5?
It wasn't-
Because I want
It wasn't great
Wanna hear
and
why?
it wasn't shit. It's a good film. It's one of them films you can watch maybe every couple of years and go, yeah, good film. But you can't justify giving it 10.
No.
It's not a classic.
10.
No, it's not getting close to that.
To be honest with
For me, I would say, I'm going to say 4, because I do agree with what you've just said, except for the fact that watching every couple of years, I don't really see myself watching this again. The DVD is actually really good quality. I quite enjoyed the fact that the DVD was looking quite nice. I would think the Blu-ray looked quite nice as well as I've seen it, but I don't know, it just, like I say, it had some really like great shots, but the whole film just wasn't put together right. Everyone did like a kind of mediocre job, not a bad, not a good job, just like what they were meant to do. So I think 4 Betty Whites out of 10 is a fair assessment from my side.
Right, well, okay, I'm gonna, because I bought this on Blu-ray, I've owned it on DVD, I own it on Laserdisc, I own it on VHS, and now Blu-ray. I'm gonna give it a 6. I've seen the pictures. I think it's been picked up by a director who's a hired hand. I think there's been a lot of work gone into the script before it was made because of the size and the scale of the budget and what needed to be done for the film. I think Morgan Freeman should have been a bit more of a bastard. I think Morgan Freeman was. I think they should have went one way or the other. It should have stuck with the gangs and like the coppers. The coppers should have been arseholes, but then the coppers should have tried to like help, but then they should have fallen. I think the robbers should have been more ruthless.
No, see, I liked how the cops turned corrupt because it shows you what people are like, what people would actually
Greed for
do.
money. I think.
Very human thing, yeah.
I think the Christian Slater and Minnie Driver are really good in it. I like how much effort they've put in, but obviously it falls victim to, again, very early CGI enhancements, which I don't think work as well as it did with Twister a couple of years beforehand. I think the deaths as well, again, they come very quick, but then they're too soon, but everyone just seems to get killed by a misfire or by someone who's a bit more of a bastard. But I like it in my Christian Slater collection, but it's in no way, shape or form one of his best, but it would probably scrape in his top 10, around 10.
I can say I did not like watching this. I just don't honestly think I'd watch it again.
Yeah, you won't watch it again, buddy? No. Well,
Nah.
well. This has been the podcast for Hard Rain. It's been an epic one. It's been all over the place. We've covered a lot of ground about different things and rants, but yeah. Thanks for listening. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from Carl.
Ciao for now.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now.